Hello, welcome from Rosslyn Chapel. I'm Margaret, one of the chapel guides. As you can see, I'm standing outside the magnificent Rosslyn Chapel. And over the centuries, this building has been visited by many famous people, but perhaps none more so than Robert Burns. Robert Burns is our national bard here in Scotland, and he's known throughout the world for songs and poems such as Auld Lang Syne and Tam O'Shanter. In the 1780s, Burns, or Rabbie as he was fondly known, visited Rosslyn on several occasions, and he often came along with his good friend, the artist Alexander Naismith. Now, both men were prominent Freemasons and so would have been well aware of the history of the building as well as the tale of the murdered apprentice. But it is perhaps for a visit in the summer of 1787 that is Burns' most memorable one. Over a night of heavy drinking in the taverns of Scotland's capital city, Burns and Naismith walked the 6 miles or so from Edinburgh to Rosslyn overnight, and their aim was to see the sun rise over this magnificent building. Unfortunately, they arrived in time to see the chapel bathed in the reddish glow of the dawn. And so they were delighted with themselves that they had actually managed to achieve what they set out to do, and feeling hungry and thirsty after their overnight walk, the two friends repaired to the local inn. And it was to this building here that Burns and Naismith came for sustenance. At that time, the building was known as the Old Rosslyn Inn, and it had offered hospitality to many visitors who came to view the chapel. After Burns had been fed and watered, if you like, he then etched his name on one of the glass window panes here, and he was following in the tradition of many famous visitors. And before Burns left the inn, he scrawled a few lines of verse on a pewter plate in praise of Annie Wilson, the landlady. Well, of course, we know Rabbie was fond of the lassies, and these are the words that he wrote. "My blessings on you, sonsy wife, I ne'er was here before. You've gane us wealth for horn and knife, nae heart could wish for more. Heaven keep ye free frae care and strife till far ayont fourscore, and while I toddle on through life, I'll ne'er gang by your door." And so Burns was actually thanking Annie Wilson for her kind hospitality. He was hoping that she had a long and happy life, and suggesting that if he was in the area again, he would always come in and visit her. Now, I'm not aware that Burns wrote anything about the chapel itself, although it has been suggested that part of Tam O'Shanter, which was published in 1790, may well have been based on an ancient legend that Burns had heard about the chapel and the St Clair family who owned it. But of course, we don't know for certain. But we do know that the memory of Burns will live on and around the 25th of January each year, all over the world, people are attending Burns suppers and eating the traditional Burns supper fare of haggis, neeps and tatties, whilst raising a glass to the bard for Auld Lang Syne. Perhaps you might like to follow in the footsteps of Robert Burns and visit Rosslyn Chapel for yourself. We would be delighted to welcome you. Happy Burns Day wherever you are, whenever you're celebrating.